Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talks at Google. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I feel like I'm rubbing shoulders with real power here at Google. I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Ryan, how excited are you for people to see this movie?
I could not be more excited. Actually, I'm 11 years excited. When I talk about it, I always just grateful. I'm wearing an adult diaper. This movie has been just the biggest pain in the ass to get made, and somehow, some way, the movie gods looked down on us and made that happen through a number of illegal transactions. Not the least of which being our test footage leaking onto the internet accidentally about 2 years ago, and that's what gave us the green light. So I'm thrilled to talk about Deadpool movie because I never thought Deadpool would actually would exist. It's been an 11-year thing, and it's the worst relationship I've ever been in. But we're happily married now, and we're expecting.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Would it be fair to say the internet helped make this movie happen?
No, it would be absolute fact to say that the internet is why I'm sitting here talking to you. Quite literally, it was the fans overwhelmed 20th Century Fox Studios with hate mail. I'm sure other illegal substances filled in all sorts of containers. They were vicious, and they so overwhelmed Fox with feedback and positive feedback about a Deadpool movie that here we are. With relatively short order, they were basically said, go make your movie and leave us alone, because we were sending emails. We sent emails to the heads of the studio that you would never send to the head of a major film studio. They were just borderline illegal. I think they were just happy to say, here's the green light, now please leave us alone. And they left us alone, so we got to make the movie that we'd always dreamt of. So
yeah, how relieved were you when they said, "Yeah, I'd make an R-rated movie"? Because you guys embraced that R-rating.
Yeah, we hugged it like a cuddly koala.
Hug is not the word.
Yeah, we dry humped a cuddly koala into an R rating, which is weirdly legal. We had a blast. No, the only way to make Deadpool is to make it without any kind of reservation, and having it PG-13 just wouldn't really allow us to have the creative freedom we needed to sort of really bring to life in the most authentic way this Marvel character, and he lives within the X-Men universe, so technically he's kind of orbiting the same areas as Wolverine and all these other guys, so they're all sort of touched upon in the movie, and we see a couple of other X-Men, and I just think personally, on a personal level, it's just funny to me to see me yelling at another X-Men that he's a wheezing bag of dick tips, and the fact that they let me get away with that was refreshing, I'll say. Yeah.
My question is, how would you convince someone's grandmother to go see this movie? Would that be the exact phrasing you'd use?
Wheezing bag of dick tips is a start for
Perfect.
sure.
Perfect.
No, I think what's funny is that a lot of I've seen some older women at some of the screenings, and they loved it. I mean, but then again, they sort of go in knowing what they're getting. But in terms of, I think you just have to lift grandma up and physically take her to the theater, and just tell her we're gonna go see On Golden Pond, Part 2, or Driving Miss Daisy, or something like that, and hope it doesn't kill her.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
What's been the most surreal experience, either filming the movie or afterwards?
Oh, the most surreal experience by far was the day I walked into Film Illusions. There's a gentleman named Russ Schenkel, who's the guy in Hollywood that makes all the really cool, superhero costumes. You go into a shop and you see there's Batman, and there's Spider-Man, and there's but he had spent months and months trying to get the Deadpool suit right. Our sort of edict at the beginning was this has to be the most faithful comic book to screen costume adaptation that's ever been attempted, and he met that challenge tenfold. When I saw, that was the most surreal moment where I saw this suit for the first time, and I'm not exaggerating or trying to be funny. I wept. I cried because it was this 11-year journey, and I thought, wow, we're off to the races here. I mean, we really are onto something. If we're starting the movie off on this footing, this is going to be really special. So that was pretty surreal.
Well, speaking of the suit, it's interesting to have a superhero who we kind of don't always actually want to see his face.
It's
for aesthetic reasons. So how did you sort of approach that performance? It looked like the eyes are animated a little bit, which was awesome, but you also have to combine that with your body language and then the raw physicality of.
We sort of, in the screenwriting process, we started developing the script 6 years ago. Myself, Rhett Reese, and Paul Wernick. And Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick wrote Zombieland, and they're just like really fun, smart, engaging, really funny writers. And we all sat around. We sort of felt like you needed it for an origin story on Deadpool. You need a third, a third, a third. So a third looks like me. And then a third looks like the scarred version of Wade, who we affectionately say looks like Shrek took a shit on his shoulders. And then you have the masked version of Deadpool, and that is sort of the true embodiment of the character and the spirit. So it was always a challenge. I mean, the mask, pushing emotion through the mask is interesting. Like I 2 days before shooting, I produced the movie, so I got luxuries that I would never have as an actor. I actually got to assemble a small camera crew and say, I need to just go into a room, I need you to film me acting like a moron for about 2 days, so I could just see how the suit behaves and how the suit moves and how much expression I can have through the suit. So I learned a ton. I got to do a lot of R&D with the suit, and we were shocked. You could actually really kind of come through that. There was a little bit of facial animation in the eyes, which really helped us, but by and large, we loved the scenes where we're not even animating the face. It's just sort of works. So.
Yeah, it was great to see the sort of like the physical, I'll say, comedy parts and then action and
you have to be really big. You have to be like you have to sort of take a tip from clown school a little bit when you're in that thing. So all my reactions are sort of huge. So
when were you first introduced to the character of Deadpool?
I was on a set. I was on the movie Blade Trinity, which I hope most of you have not seen. But no, there's some fun parts in that movie. But it was a movie where I got to have a lot of fun. I got to do the movie with my friends. It was certainly the movie was fraught with a number of different frustrations that sometimes big movies can have. But I played a character in that movie that I guess resembles Wade Wilson in Deadpool, and a rival executive at another studio said, I saw a little piece of Blade, and you're Wade Wilson, you're Deadpool, and I didn't know at the time. This is in 2004. I didn't know who Deadpool was, and he said, trust me, if they ever make a movie about Deadpool, you're the only guy that can play Deadpool. So he sent me over all these comics, and I'm not a big comic book guy, but I really gravitated toward Deadpool. I fell in love with Deadpool. The first issue I opened up, I'm not making this up, I was on the panel. Like in the comic, it said Deadpool was saying, somebody asked him what he looks like. He says, I look like a cross between Ryan Reynolds and a Shar-Pei. And I was like, Jesus, this is fucking destiny. What the hell? Who's fucking with me? It's like, Kirk Cameron gonna jump out of the corner with his little candid camera and I'm gonna offend him with my swears? So I kept reading them all, and I was just I fell so in love with this character. He was like meta. He breaks the fourth wall, addresses the audience. He knows he's in a comic book. I mean, in the film Deadpool makes fun of Ryan Reynolds, and I love that. I love that he gets to do that. It's a kind of a groundbreaking, genre-bending property, and the fact that a studio let us make it, not just let us make it, but let us make it as a rated R movie was just, crazy. I couldn't believe it. So,
actually, what of your other acting experiences you bring us? There was a moment that I was sort of reliving your performance in like Buried.
Oh yeah,
where I was like, he's just really good at like freaking out in a small space.
Yeah.
Were there any moments you're like, oh no?
I am good at freaking out in small spaces. I'm pretty like I'm the first guy to say like a movie I did or a performance that it sucked. But like that's one gift I've always had is freaking out in small spaces. And it's probably because I'm the youngest of 4 boys, so I was often crammed into small spaces, both for survival and for torture. So. But yeah, in the movie, in Deadpool, I certainly I'm choking to death and I'm being tortured and I am fine with it. But the problem is it blows all the blood vessels in my face, so they have to end up like putting a lot of makeup on to cover up my horribly blood vessel blown face,
and then put your horrible face on in makeup later.
Okay. Scar makeup on over top of that. Yeah, so
awesome.
Yeah.